And now, aviation weather around Alaska. National Weather Service meteorologist Peter Chan here with your aviation weather outlook as we wrap up this week. Starting off with the satellite imagery, 1 a.m. on Wednesday morning. We have moisture out over the northern Gulf along the coastline there. Low pressure, lower Gulf, North Pacific, that feature slowly drifting toward the south-southeast and weakening. A push of warmer air across the Bering Sea is driving a weakening front at that, into the southwest and west coast as we go through this morning and in through the latter half of today, bringing areas of rain and some rain showers. And we do anticipate this moisture here along the western Gulf to continue to press westward as we go through the day today into tonight and early Thursday before it shears out and then just kind of weakens. But we anticipate Thursday morning along areas of the west coast, Seward Peninsula there down through the Yukon Delta. IFR conditions will be the case. Also, especially along the Bering side of the Alaska Peninsula and then extending out the length of the Aleutians. There could be a remnant thunderstorm more toward the dissipating stage overnight tonight, early on Thursday morning, with redevelopment Thursday afternoon across much of the interior, from portions of the eastern Alaska Range, even Wrangell Mountains, on up toward along the Alcan border westward to even portions of the central North Slope, Brooks Range, and back toward McGrath, just north and west of the Alaska Range. For Friday morning, still an isolated thunder shower could be ongoing up here across areas of the east central interior, with IFR just off the Arctic coast running down through the lower Chukchi Sea and Bering Strait, and then coming inland to areas of the southwest around the YK deltas, including Bristol Bay, and then all along much of the length there of the Alaska Peninsula and the Aleutians. And by Friday afternoon, the IFR conditions should relax along the west coast and in any areas of the Gulf, but we'll still have the potential for some scattered thunderstorms to redevelop with the daytime heating in the afternoon and evening, especially from around the 40-mile Gold Country north through the Yukon Flats in the eastern portion of the Brooks Range. Pass conditions Thursday, Anaktuvuk Pass should generally see VFR conditions, but cumulus buildups there in the afternoon, evening could lead to an isolated thunderstorm in vicinity of the pass. Same thing, Atigun Pass, generally VFR conditions expected Thursday, but cumulus buildups in the afternoon and evening could lead to a scattered shower or isolated thunderstorm. Lake Clark and Merrill will start off Thursday morning with MVFR conditions giving way to VFR. Same thing, Rainy Pass and Windy Pass as we round up into the central Alaska Range. Look for MVFR conditions early in the day becoming VFR. And as you fly north of Windy Pass in toward the interior, you may encounter some scattered showers and isolated storms. Same thing, Isabel Pass, MVFR early Thursday becoming VFR. But as you fly north of Isabel Pass, you may encounter some scattered showers or isolated storm, especially in the afternoon or evening. And again, same thing, Matasta Pass, MVFR becoming VFR. But there could be a scattered shower or isolated thunderstorm develop in vicinity of the pass Thursday afternoon and evening. Tanita Pass, we'll see MVFR conditions early in the day become VFR. And same thing at Portage Pass. Look for MVFR conditions in the morning becoming VFR. And Chilkoot and White should generally see VFR conditions there up along the far north end of the Panhandle. So freezing levels aloft are highest out here over the Bering Sea. There was quite a push of warmer air, warm front that has since weakened to more of a trough that's bringing in some cloud cover, and it'll bring areas of rain or rain showers into areas of the southwest and west. That'll push further inland as we go through the day Thursday and even lingering into Friday. Meanwhile, the low pressure that's sinking south of the Gulf on Thursday, cooler pool of air aloft, freezing levels aloft there around and just below 6,000 feet. But we generally see freezing levels aloft rather high, above 10,000 feet across much of the interior back into northwest Canada. And again, the greatest threat for any icing along this trough that'll be pushing inland and pretty high freezing levels. There are threats for icing above 13,000 feet over parts of Kuskokwim, Bristol Bays down toward the Alaska Peninsula, and then some isolated pockets perhaps in the southeast above 10,000 feet, and then way out toward the central Aleutian southwestward above 14,000 feet. Upper level jet stream winds 30,000 feet, strongest winds on the backside. Here's the low circulation here, northerly winds over 100 knots. And then as we look at 700 millibars, roughly 9,000 feet, we have winds across the outer southern, southwestern coast there of the Panhandle, south about 35 knots. We have some southwest winds pulling into the east side, northeast, I should say, Norton Sound, south side of the Seward Peninsula, a broad area of winds anywhere from 35 to as high as near 50 knots out over the Bering Sea, back across the Aleutians and into the Alaska Peninsula. And then at 3,000 feet, we find still a broad area of winds anywhere from 35 to around 50 knots, extending from portions of the western mainland, but especially out over the Bering Sea off of the southeast coast, or southwest coast rather, including Kuskokwim and Bristol Bays, back to north of the Aleutians. And this is the area that has the potential to see some considerable moderate turbulence during the day on Thursday. Across much of the Aleutians into the lower portion of the Alaska Peninsula, surface to 3,000, surface to 4,000 feet. Another area as we get out around Kuskokwim Bay, Etolan Strait, and westward to St. Paul and St. Matthew. We expect turbulence in this area, moderate turbulence, surface to about 4,000 feet. Also extending up across the interior on the northwest side of the Alaska Range as we approach the middle Yukon Valley and on up toward Kotzebue Sound and the southwest slope there of the Brooks Range, surface to 4,000 foot moderate turbulence will be possible.